Oh boy, ladies and gentlemen, what is happening? Circle around, let's form the mosh pit. We are here with Ren's music here. Sick Boy Part 2. Yes, I am aware of the situation that happened with Sick Boy. Or High Ren. Nope. Sick Boy. Yes. And how, the guy who was working with Ren just screwed him over, and he did everything nice that he possibly could to rectify the situation, and the guy was not compliant, and then he's coming out with a diss track on him a little bit. We have seen how King Dada was completely destroyed, and I'm excited to see that other part. Maybe we'll react to it, maybe not. If you guys don't know me on this channel, or if you're familiar with me from my old channel, I've been slowing down my reaction content with this channel because, well, I made a video talking about that, first one on this channel. So let's just see what's going on with this one. A eulogy here. Got a church choir here. Oh. Playboy Rennie? Huh?
Sick boy, allopathic script boy, pathogenic, schizophrenic, call it medic, quick boy, quick boy, just wanna scratch the itch boy, agoraphobic, multi-psychosis on it, I'm that sick boy.
So we go back to kind of a similar formula with the original Sick Boy, where he talks about stem cell poster boy, bitten by a tick boy, like talking about his ailments and then almost bragging about not the mental illness that he has, but like basically listing off like, yeah, this is all the stuff that I got. These are all the ways that I am perceived as a medical marvel. Like I'm sure he's not actually trying to brag about it, but it does seem very like, yeah, this is my life, and I'm just giving you the full gambit of what's going on with me. So I like kind of that return to formula here.
Boy, just wanna scratch the itch boy, agoraphobic, multi-psychosis on it, I'm that sick boy. No.
Also, sorry, if I remember correctly, he was talking about having itching inside his body at one point, right? Which is what can happen with a lot of allergies and stuff. You feel like you have an itch, but you can't get to it because it's a sign that there's something going on inside you. I believe that's what he said in his lengthy series that he did about his illness and all those other things. But also, if he's saying, I want to scratch that itch, it could be, I haven't heard him do too many songs like this, so maybe he's also saying, I want to scratch that itch. I want to try something a little bit, a little bit crazy here. Anyway.
Just wanna scratch the itch boy, agoraphobic, multi-psychosis on it, I'm that sick boy. Nothing to lose, nothing to win or to prove, nothing but holes in my shoes, nothing but nothing, I'm hustling, bustling, pain is a paradox I didn't choose. Nothing but truth, nothing but fire in the booth, nothing that you could do I couldn't do, nothing that you could do better, forget all the others, I'm aiming at you.
Ooh, so he's saying, hey, I have more than enough ability in this department, and this is how I'm going to wreck you. You're not going to beat me. I have nothing to prove, nothing but holes in my shoes. He's already done enough to prove his ability, and hearkening back to when he was busking and all that other stuff and broke and all those other things, he had holes in his shoes. He couldn't even afford new shoes. But where he has his worth in gold and stacks is in his musical ability. That's he's basically saying, yeah, I'm broke, but I could still absolutely destroy you. Dude, that's cold.
No toxic, diagnostic, catastrophic news. Since I got signal for one, the pain it comes in twos. Catatonic, antipsychotics, beta blockers, antibiotics. Watch the clock, pick the lock, pick quick, let's dip, get loose. Wait for a minute, I'm struggling with it, I'm doubling down and I'm doubling digits, I live with the pain and forgive it, cause bitterness eats you alive when you're in it, admit it, then flip it, then rip up the script, it's fitting that I have been screaming at demons that visit, I'm feeling so rigid, I lean on religion, but God said I'm laughing, I'm burning my breath.
So we're talking a lot about flipping the script. I think that could also mean a medical script, like the script that you're given if you have to fill out like a medication, or rather you're given a prescription for something. You have that medical script for that so that people know that a doctor said you can have it. but also flipping the script. Obviously, you're changing your life around. You're changing what looks like you are fated to do, which in his case is staying sick. He's like, I'm going to flip the script and I'm going to get better. I'm going to do what I have to do. But then he was saying pain comes in twos. What was that phrase? Oh, it was something like, oh, geez. I feel like that's a reference to some well-known phrase. Something like happiness comes in threes or something. Like I don't know what it is. But yeah, I like that, though. Because, again, I think a lot of this ties back to when he was talking about his illness in detail and talking about the waves of pain that he would go through as he would try something and then it wouldn't work. He would try something else and then that wouldn't work. And yeah.
It's fitting that I have been screaming at demons that visit. I'm feeling so rigid, I lean on religion, but God's still laughing, my brain in my bridges. Car crash, whiplash, ambulance, body bags, zip back. It's a game of circumstance. Wrong turn, everything can all collapse. Get burned, back inside the relapse.
And I think that's so fascinating too, that he's like, it can all collapse. But he's gone through so many iterations of things falling apart in his life, and he still was able to make things work. I talked about it in my previous channel when we were talking about the whole lengthy story of his. I kind of admire the fact that he never had to have any solid flooring beneath his feet. He didn't even have to have a roof over his head in order to pursue what he wanted to do. He was just like, I'm just going to make it work. I envy people like that. I need structure. I need some assuredness. I work a job that is a brick and mortar job because I need that building there. You know, like I don't like the whole, oh, just kind of do whatever, work wherever, be wherever, whatever. I don't get people like that. Also, something else he was saying, I forgot to mention it previously, but with leaning on religion, he talked about that, like trying to understand some sort of perhaps spiritual ideology behind his sicknesses. And I think he said something like he does believe in some sort of deity, but he wasn't really sure exactly, you know, how that comes to play. But yeah, I mean, you know, he said it himself. There is stuff that has happened to him that not a single scientist or facet of this world can explain. And I think the more you live life and actually do things with your life, the more you're going to realize that there are some things in this world that scientists will never be able to explain, because there are facets of this world that goes outside of human logic, you know? And if you ever need proof of that, really do a deep dive in how stars work. Seriously. Even looking at how big some of the biggest known stars are in our universe right now, how big they are compared to the Earth. And when you start doing the math on that, it gets pretty crazy.
Cracks, they stack back to back, and I'm back on my back inside the counter attack. Pop Prozac, knock it back, wash it down and relax, and that's that. Subtract, collapse, react, adapt.
Getting lost, money, get into the bag like I got.
I'm going to say this too. When he was saying subtract, react, then relax, a lot of people might just hear the you know, track, like those syllables, like just repeating it, and then think, oh, it's just lyrical, spiritual, miracle. Well, for you uneducated folk, let me tell you something. If you actually think about how those words work, and in subtracting things from his life, throw it back like a, you know, pill bottle, then relax. Like, it literally is a description of how he goes in these cyclical cycles, or went in these cyclical cycles of trying a new medication, taking something else out of his life, having another issue, and then trying to relax. Like, literally, that is a description of his life. I just want to educate the people who might think lyrical, spiritual, blah, blah, blah. No, it's not. You need to think about what the words actually are, you know? Just you know, trying to increase your vernacular.
Getting lost, money, get into the bag like I got nothing to lose, yeah. Like I got nothing to lose. Getting lost, money, get into the bag like I got nothing to lose, yeah.
Also,
Getting lost, money.
so I like how, first of all, this takes a bit of time to just breathe a little bit. I think there's more than enough that he's talked about that we can kind of ruminate on. Also, having the doubling in the back of his voice being pitched down in various pitches. We've had like 3 or 4 at this point. I can't forget something that this one music reactor called it in criticizing guys like Tom MacDonald, who in some ways I think the man is warranted to, get some criticism. But one point he made, which I think is just kind of not realistic, but I can see where he's coming from, is that idea that it's the white boy angry rap thing to pitch down your vocals in the background. Like, sure, I don't know a whole lot of artists that do that, but I think if you just take it as this cheesy, corny aesthetic and there's no point to it, then sure, okay, you only gave me 2 options, then you win. Fantastic. But the way he's doing it here, pitching it like 3 or 4 different ways, I think it just, at least for me, it's making me pay attention more and kind of think, maybe in some points we kind of have more of a sluggish mindset, especially when we're talking about how we're losing money, we're losing our health, we're kind of just sliding along in life. And then there was some of that, sort of psychotic stuff that we were talking about, that I think some of the edginess of the doubling could actually make it even more so, like, oh yeah, this really sounds negative and harsh sounding, which I think adds a auditory aesthetic to the lyrics that he's talking about. That's just me.
like a job.
Once upon a time that was not long ago, there lived a boy inside his mind. Sometimes the thought would overflow and grow until they blinded the boy, he decomposed. And if you read between the lines of his story, you will know that there is method to his madness, prerequisite for his sadness. For there must be catalysts which exist to explain his status. Extract it and look right at it. His panic was formed in fragments that happened from lack of passion, attacking his hippocampus. Back to the story where the story begins.
Yeah, so the emotions attacking his hippocampus, lack of passion, taking its toll on him. I think he talked about that a bit in his videos about his health and everything, that when you're feeling sick, when you're not able to do anything, of course you're not going to have any passion to do anything because your body's trying to recover. It's saying, hey, stop it, I need rest. And especially if you're in a really big sickness and you're taking a long time to get through it, yeah, it can feel really daunting that you're sitting there like, man, I just want to do something. I want to pick up the pen. I want to make something. I want to write, and I can't. It's tough. It's tough, man. I said that with my video on why I deleted my other channel, which was on the eve of 24,000 subscribers. It would have ticked over in like a day, and I just deleted it out of nowhere because I was so distraught and messed up psychologically and like emotionally. I was so tired and exhausted, I didn't care anymore. I needed to get away from all that and stop how I was running myself ragged with that channel. So to a degree, I can understand what he's talking about with when your body is not feeling it, there is nothing you can force yourself to do in order to stay on those paths of, creativity and stuff. Not if you're not feeling it here and here.
He was confused by the world that he lived in. A world where profit is religion and to knock it is sin. A world where profit spread the word of putting profit over kin. Sink or swim, blood that is thicker than money and dividends. He grew thick skin, see it for what it is, resist and take a hit on the chin. Anti-capitalist, a rationalist, a war, it shall begin. On the greedy who mislead the people, it starts from within.
Yeah, so we go back to something he talks about quite a lot. It does start from within. You can't look at the world around you and go, this person needs to change. If he changes this thing, then it's all going to work out. No, it's not. If you don't have it figured out on the inside, it doesn't matter what you try and do on the outside. And I will bet money, what little I have, that that's the case. Because really, you can say all the heady, thought-provoking things that you want to say. You can input all the laws that you want. But if someone doesn't believe it in their heart and mind, it's not, they're going to find a way around it. Shoot, if you really think about how frequently people steal, Sure, we might all have different reasons for why we do it, but at the end of the day, like, there's no one facet of, you know, how we live that people won't also want to skirt around if it profits them, because they don't feel it here. It doesn't matter what society says. It doesn't matter. Look at all the other ways that crazy crime goes on in our world that, you know, we actually have laws against, but some people just find a way to do it. Sight unseen, on the internet, whatever. Like, it's because they don't feel it here, and they'll always find a way to skirt around it. Yeah. And then, you know, money over kin. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of people out there who just make it all about your profit and success. But I think, like he said in Money Game, we've all seen examples. If we take time to remember, we've seen examples of how that stuff does not fly. It really doesn't make you happy in the end. A lot of people think it does. That just tells me you've never had money like that. Because let me tell you, when you do, if you're still not good in here, it doesn't matter how much money you have. It really doesn't. And I can say that as someone who's had a little tiny bit of money in his life. You know? Doesn't make me any happier. Just saying.
Are you in it to win, or are you in it for a purpose that exists outside your skin? When you're in it,
Yes.
Is it worthless to resist, begin again? Are you screaming on the surface? Are you like me? Are you in?
Yes, I am.
Money, get into the bag like I got nothing to lose, yeah. Like I got nothing to lose.
Oh. Whoa. Maybe this is the conclusion of it.
Getting lost, money, get into the bag like I got nothing to lose, yeah. Like I got nothing to lose. Getting lost, money,
Ooh.
get into the bag like I got nothing to lose, yeah. Like I got
Oh, that bass is disgusting.
getting lost, money like a job.
Ooh. Oh, and his voice is all switched up. You go, what? Ooh, okay, so that was Sick Boy Part 2. Wow. I think with that last part, when it changed up, I would like to think that that was the conclusion of, hey, are you in? Because that's the last thing he asked. And then, we bring in some positivity. We bring in these birds. We bring in these nice sounds. We bring in all these things. I think that is a great depiction of, if you really do free your mind from worrying about what everybody else thinks, stressing yourself out over things that, I even was just reading this in the Bible the other day, that it isn't in justification of evil, but it said it was in the Psalms, don't trouble yourself with the evil of the world. And what does that mean? Not getting hung up on it. Like, sure, it's bad when people do bad things, right? And for some people, they might have really sad reasons for thinking they have to do what they're trying to do, right? That doesn't justify it, though. It's still a bad thing. But, like, don't trouble yourself with those things. It's going to happen out there. What's more important is, what are you going to do to make this world a better place and live for something outside your skin? And that's all I got to say about that. Thanks for watching, guys. Obviously, the link to this is going to be in the description. Please support Ren on this, and I will see you guys next time.